All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome to HMSA, the H&M Sports Academy. My name is Mo. This is Harry. We are here today on another weeknight to go over and recap some NFL action, a little NBA action, getting a little bit closer to the playoffs in the NFL, heating up. Before I get started, as always, I will always remind you that if you like this content, please remember to like and share and subscribe. We will be doing a lot more content throughout the course of the year, and we're looking forward to growing this channel. We're very new, but this is very exciting for us at the H&M Sports Academy. My name is Mo, and this is Harry. How are you, sir?
I'm amazing, man. It's new territory for me. I've been walking around with a pep in my step, man.
Yeah.
Just feeling really good. Thanksgiving's coming up here soon, and I haven't had high quality, meaningful Bears football this late in the season since 2018.
2018,
so, yeah. I'm feeling real good.
Definitely excited, man. So, and that's what we're here today for. We're gonna go over the Bears versus the Steelers. The Steelers travel to Soldier Field to play Chicago. Two teams with winning records and playoff aspirations, and teams that are blue collar type teams in their history as far as their style and so forth. But two teams that's trying to get away from that and get into modern football here. So big game for the Steelers and the Bears. We will also recap the Philadelphia Eagles going in to see the Dallas Cowboys, an interdivisional matchup with two teams that are trying to continue their track. The Philadelphia Eagles being the Super Bowl champs. And we'll talk a little bit about the playoffs. We'll talk about this week's games. This is a holiday week, so we have a very short week for these teams, quick turnarounds.
Very quick turnarounds.
And I'm thankful that the Cowboys and the Bears are going to be playing this holiday. Keep it exciting for us. I won't just sit around and stuck turkey in my face all weekend.
Man, could we have started this channel at a better time for both our teams? I don't know.
What a great time to be alive.
I know, man.
They said what a great time to be alive.
I know. We couldn't have planned this we couldn't have planned this any better if we wanted to, man.
No. So this is exciting, man. This is exciting. And so we'll get into all of that. We'll talk a little bit of the Lakers and all the things that's going on there. And if you notice, we don't talk a ton of NBA yet because we're in the throes of the NFL season. But as the season fades and we get into the playoffs and move forward, we'll start to pick up the pace there. Lots to talk about there. We covering the Lakers. So awesome stuff here at the HMS Sports Academy. And I'm going to jump into things. Let's talk Steelers, Bears.
Yeah.
Get into it. You have the Steelers and the Bears playing in another high-scoring game. And we talked about these teams trying to, modernize their team and get into the high-stakes, high-scoring game. And this game was a 28-31 contest.
Had to
with
have
the Bears moving to 8-3.
Hey, I told you the only downside of this victory was I couldn't get it over Aaron Rodgers. He came in the stadium and say what you want to say. He got a little heel to him. He walks in the stadium. He walks in the Soldier Field. He tucks his left arm in his jacket, and then kind of gives the impression that the adding to the suspense whether he's gonna go or not. He flicking off the fans. He flicking off the cameraman. So. As much as certain competitors that you love to go against, he's one of them. I wanted him to go. I personally went to my own doctor. I had wrist surgery, sent my wrist in a cooler, flew it over to Pittsburgh. I guess they didn't want it. It was too strong. It didn't work. The blood type didn't match. So he didn't take my wrist.
Nope.
So we got Mason Rudolph at the helm for Pittsburgh. And Tomlin is one of our favorite coaches. The Tomlinisms, the standard is the standard.
Yeah.
If you're ready to blink, then cut off your eyelids.
Yeah.
Steeler football, Bear football, two historic franchises. So you couldn't have asked for a better matchup.
Look at
And
this.
we both came in with a lot of fanfare. And I think Pittsburgh, there's a lot of question around, are they really legit or not? So they were using this as a
Yeah. Measuring
measuring
stick.
stick for them, and we were using it as a measuring stick for us.
Yep.
Just because all the noise last week is the Bears are lucky we haven't played anybody, and somehow we're the flukiest, at the time 7-3 team in the NFL.
Yep.
We also were down 7 starters. Let me say that again, 7. Our whole linebacking core, Sewell, Tremaine Edmonds, TJ Edwards out. So we ended up getting some insurance guys, some PE teachers, some assistant linebacker coaches out of, somewhere in the local Chicago City area to come play linebacker. Hell, we even had Mike Singletary on the field in this game. And we had the old 50 ready for him to go because we just didn't have any linebackers.
Nobody.
Also down Jalen Johnson, Gordon, a slot nickel, and then Stevenson was battling a hip, so he was pretty much out of the game within like the first quarter. So that's kind of setting the stage as to we were completely decimated on defense. Dennis Allen, what an amazing job that he did. We knew going in we won't have to duct tape this defense and really just hold our water. And this was a game for the offense to go win. And in true, I call Ben Johnson the young modern day Bill Walsh, man. And wow, from the jump, his aggression, the confidence, and his ability to slow down that pass rush, because that's what Pittsburgh's known for. They had Watt on the edge. His brother was calling the game, which is pretty cool, man. I was talking to Junior, my son, about that. You know, how cool is that? You got your brother calling the game. And he also broke his sack record in the middle of the game.
He broke his brother's sack record in the game with an amazing play.
Amazing play. So it was just a lot of, like I said, this is probably one of the most the pomp and circumstance and just the energy around this game was just organically high. And it was a high stakes football game. You can feel that from the opening kickoff. And as you can see in this picture, man, our number 26, Nashawn Wright, man, this kid here, this man played another amazing game. He probably had one of the best interceptions I think I've seen in a very long time. On DJ Metcalf, and everybody knows he looked like a damn water buffalo running, down the field. Everybody knows how fast and powerful DJ Metcalf is, and he went toe to toe with him on the sideline and pirouette toe tap interception to get us started. And you got my guy CJ Gardner. Look at him in the back, with the orange cleats, bringing that energy. The Bears defense, man, again, made me proud. Dennis Allen and Ben Johnson. This is the happiest I saw Ben Johnson. So when you look at this was after the game. You see these two guys right here. This is, as football guys, you know what this hug means. Yeah. That's the hug of, hell victory. Hell yeah. We found a way where there was no way and people didn't think we had an opportunity. So really that's setting the stage for how this game went. So let's get into it. We'll talk a little bit about the game and get into some of the nuance of it, but really, really huge victory over at Soldier Field this Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, all these starters just down, but number 26 said, "Y'all, I don't really care, man. Y'all got me." Nashawn said, "I don't really care about these guys. Like I'm here. That's all we need. Right. I'm gonna ball out, man." This guy was left for dead and traded. Not that he was a bad player, but he was a young player and needed a lot of developing. He was traded out of Dallas because we needed a guy who could play immediately, and end up in Minnesota, and then just kind of thrown in a deal here. But there's something about Al Harris and his coaching style, and he had him in Dallas.
Yeah, he's handpicked by Al Harris, and sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but sometimes it's, you know how it is when somebody supports you and loves you and puts you in the right situation. I think the Dennis Allen style defense, his body type, and then having Al Harris coach him up, it's the perfect situation for him. So we talked about Pickens in our last conversation, in our last pod, around, when he goes to looking free agency this year, I think he should take a long look at trying to, stick around in Chicago. Al Harris might leave. We'll talk about that here a little bit later. They highlighted some of the great young coaches around the league, and he's on that short list.
He's been on that.
I do think,
wow.
Yeah, but I do think I get it back. I toss it back to you, but I do think Nahshon just marries up well with this style of play within Dennis Allen's system.
And I'm just highlighting the Chicago Bears defense versus Pittsburgh's Pittsburgh's offense. And with Pittsburgh, you're talking about not having Aaron Rodgers there. But I've always liked Mason Rudolph, man. I always felt like he was a very solid quarterback. He's a big dude too, man. I didn't realize he's a good 6'4", 6'5", man. He don't even really, strike me as that, but I mean, he got in a fight with Myles Garrett, so it can't be so soft. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, he's a gamer. I thought, and we often talk about, you get next to these guys and you see him out on the field. He was standing next to Montez Sweat. They damn near eye to eye. Montez is a physically imposing guy. I think he's about 265, 270, 6'5", and Rudolph was standing right there with him. Yeah.
So you got Pittsburgh's offense featured, Metcalf. They got some decent running backs, Warren, and I like their tight end and
Washington.
Yeah, Big Washington, and what's the other guy's name? I don't know why I can't think of
Gainwell, whatever his name is, that dude from Philly, right?
No, not the running back. I'm talking about the tight end. I don't know why I can't think of his name right now.
Oh yeah, Freiermuth.
Yeah,
Freiermuth. Yeah,
Pat Freiermuth. Yeah. Excellent. So they got weapons, man. They got weapons, and so they get off and they're going kind of toe to toe with you guys as far as they're concerned. But man, that interception by Wright kind of turns that. You got to steal possessions in this league. You got to try to find a way to steal a possession or two when you're playing these teams, and that's a big deal to get that turnover. And you guys gave them some back too. But at the end of the day, what did you see with your defense being so down? As far as your manning is concerned. But what did Dennis Allen do to kind of cover up for that, to make sure that you guys were able to, execute and stay on top of Pittsburgh's offense?
Yeah, I think he kept it simple. I didn't see a lot of the exotic double mug that we had been doing here recently, where we were coming up to the line and sending different guys. I think the game plan was to try to keep it in front of us and not let the linebackers compromise themselves with too much what I call thinking. The Steelers did a really good job. They kept us off balance with the run game and short, quick passing game, play action, and they challenged the young linebackers. Challenged their eye discipline, and they ran a lot of what I call just safe plays, but also aggressive plays. So you saw a lot of Warren, you saw a lot of Gainwell, and they had Metcalf. They even the play that they scored on, they motioned him from the right to the left side of the formation behind the quarterback, threw a quick little almost like a little quick lead, not even a screen. It was almost just like an extended, like a pass, almost like a sweep, right? And got him in space. So they were simple in what they were doing. They weren't asking after Rudolph threw that first interception. I think they said, hey, let's just button it up and not, to your point, not lose it.
Yeah.
And they're also physical. So they challenged Washington, knocked Hippolyte, our linebacker, out of the game with a concussion. And we had to send in another linebacker to play. But at the end of the day, man, what I saw was just an offense. They pulled out a lot of gadgets too. They got out on the edges. They try to get out on the flanks, and just challenging us from that perspective of trying to work our eye discipline and keep it very simple.
Let me ask you this: what effect did you think the sprained ankle for Metcalf had. I mean, he scored early. He looked strong.
Yeah.
Then he goes down, and obviously he's a bit of a security blanket for a backup quarterback.
Yeah.
Did you see a drop off, in their ability to kind of sustain from your end when he goes down?
Big time. Having the deep threat side of him, is always a threat. And once he sprained that ankle, he actually left for not a long time, but he sat out just a couple of plays. And once he left the game, they really don't have a strong receiving core. I really can't even name a bunch of their wide receivers post, after Metcalf. So we were able to bring another safety in the box. So you saw us go from a 2-high shell down to a, more of a traditional cover 3, a lot of man to help, slow that running attack down. And it allowed us to sit on a lot of routes, which you saw normally our pressure, with our front 4 had been, lacking. And it picked up big time this week just because we didn't have that threat of DK taking it over the top of our defense. So it was a big, sometimes kind of similar to the CD when he left in the Cowboys game.
Yeah.
It impacted how we could, cover off on the back end. And similar things that I saw with this game, we started to sit on a lot of the short stuff and made Rudolph hold that ball a little tick longer than he probably wanted to.
Makes sense. And yet and still, we had a game that was still high scoring.
Yeah.
And you get down to a situation where you guys are putting up points offensively, and the Pittsburgh had kind of fallen behind, but they kept it close and they kept it within, 10 points, 7. They kind of kept it close and stuff. So, I was looking at it like, man, the Steelers might be primed to jump in here and try to snake away this game.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful when it comes down to it. When you looked at, your offense and the great Caleb Williams, and his ability to score. I know he had a little bit of a bad play early on in the game.
Yeah,
they kind of gave one back to them.
Sack. Yeah, it's terrible sack.
When you talk about them, because honestly, that's really what won this game. Again, it's just your ability to just keep putting up these points, man. Ain't no more DJ less. DJ Moore showed the hell up. But talk to me what you saw with your offense there on that side.
Yeah, the offense actually was and this is an interesting conversation. I'm gonna pull up a graphic here shortly and kind of explain my rationale as to why we're seeing success. But I think from my perspective, one, Caleb started off a little bit off. He wasn't as accurate on the first couple of passes, and
which is rare.
In this case, he worked himself out of it very quickly, though. And what Ben is asking him to do, I'm asking Bear Nation to please be patient and enjoy what you have, because he's attacking and looking for explosives. And normally you see quarterbacks, they want to do what? Mo, they want quick game, little 5-yard out, a little stop route, a little something to get you in rhythm, manage the game, and get you feeling good. It's almost like a shooter seeing a free throw go through, and then you kind of go into it. With Ben, he's like, you throwing that 20-yard dagger, out the gate. And for those who have played football and played, especially offensive football, these are what I call high level, pass and passes and catches, because you're layering the football in between linebackers and safeties and corners. So he was a little bit off to start the game, but my God, when he heated up, again, the Ben Johnson's ability, we were down our left tackle to Theo Benedict, right? And kind of a late scratch. So we had Ozzie Trapillo, our second round pick, at left tackle. And Ben Johnson did a really masterful job, I think, of calling a game that helped protect him. We actually got into a bunch of 5 wide, and not got it out quick, but really attacked the middle of the field and the seams. So we didn't run like I thought we would, even though we were having success. So when I looked at this game, I said, hey, the offense is going to have to go win it. And Ben put a lot of what I call trust into Caleb. So that's why that sack fumble, the first thing I looked at for a touchdown, I looked at Caleb's reaction, and he got up and they showed him he was smiling, and not in a, we were talking about with Daniels where it's kind of like that whole, it doesn't matter. It was that, hey, coach told me about that, and I shouldn't have let that happen, but I'm gonna come back and make that up. And boy, did he make it up. And when I pull up, this here chart, this is what I want us to see. When you look at this, these explosives, these throws over the middle of the field, most quarterbacks, I don't know if you guys can see my arrow on my mouse here, but most quarterbacks on the outside, they don't like throwing over the middle like that. And Caleb was attacking that middle. He was forcing the Steelers to play with eye discipline. He slowed the pass rush down off the heavy play action game. And you also saw Ben run a lot of what I call unique sets out of that 12 personnel, where he would show Colston Loveland, he would put Cole Kmet out on the flanks and then motion them down into condensed formations to dictate the coverage. And you heard the broadcast analyst talking about just how Ben Johnson was out coaching Tomlin, because on downs where they had their cover linebacker in, he was running the ball. As soon as they put that running, linebacker in, their better run stuffer, who's not as great in coverage, he was throwing the ball. So you got a chance to see Ben Johnson at his finest. You see a lot of the touchdowns there were isolated, some shots where we got Colston Loveland one-on-one for a touchdown. You got DJ Moore lined up with Jalen Ramsey on a little shake route that he threw a dot. And then Caleb, again, the mastery of the quarterback position is also being able to get some freebies, right? And he used that hard count to get a free touchdown with DJ Moore right up the seam as well. So a lot of noise came out with Caleb and fans talking about his accuracy and how, he didn't play a great game. I pulled the stats, the chart down, but 239, 3 touchdowns, and a winning effort. Hey man, if that's what we complaining about, and if that's the level,
Look, I love the Bears, man. I love the Bears fans. I appreciate y'all. Y'all seem like nice people, man. You got a lot of pizza out there. What the hell is y'all talking about, man? Do you know what y'all's quarterback history looks like? Right. And all of a sudden, you're looking at this guy who's only in his second year, putting up these numbers and talking about some damn completion rate.
Man, we're the couple in the 5-star restaurant for the first time who've never eaten at this level. And we sending the damn steak back, talking, it look a little too rare for me. Can you heat it up? And what is this sauce you got on it? Hey, eat the damn steak. Eat it. Enjoy it. Eat it. Enjoy it.
Are people really doing this?
They're doing this, and it's gotten to a point now. I'm like, are y'all watching other quarterbacks? Because we watch a lot of football, right? And if you think that a quarterback's not going to miss throws, if you think every play is going to be made by your quarterback, then I got a news flash for you. It doesn't work that way. When you look at Tom Brady, you look at Josh Allen, you look at John Elway, you look at Peyton Manning, there were games where they threw interceptions, where they had a couple of bad plays. They still find ways to win. And I think at the end of the day, for me, it's being able to consume. Bear Nation needs to be able to understand what a good kind of growing young quarterback looks like. They're not all going to be precise.
I can't believe what you're saying. I just, first of all, a very, very, very solid and acceptable game. is
Right.
a 65% completion rate,
Mhm.
right? That's a very strong, solid 60. Anything over that, you're starting to you're lighting it up.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But sorry, go
but
ahead.
that means 35% of the time you're not making a completion. Do people understand what that means?
And this is Ben Johnson in training camp. They asked him, "Hey, what's your goal for Caleb Williams with his, stats and his numbers for the year?" And he said, "Hey, yeah, we're looking for Caleb to be around 70% completion percentage." We are so lacking of football knowledge is the great way. I was going to say something else, but we are so unaccustomed to even know what that means. Jared Goff it took him 7 years to have a 70% completion for a season, and it was rare. I'm talking about only, it might have happened twice over the history of the NFL. And, it's, again, guys, when we go and talk about goals and what you're trying to do, of course you're going to shoot for the moon, right? 70% completion percentage is a lofty goal. And like you said, if you're getting around 65, 66, you really are the elite of the elite in the passing game as an NFL quarterback. So I think that number was put in the fans' heads, and they started to track this in training camp. They're showing, and in training camp, and when we play ball, sometimes the coach just say, "Hey, on this cover 3 look, I want you to fit it in there because I want to see if you can do it, right?"
Yeah.
And we're gonna. So it was a predetermined throw. So they were taking, the ideology that he had to be 70%, not knowing the context as to what is being worked on. So I say all that to say, Bears fans, relax, calm down. The throws that he's making, and they showed some of the, I call it the POV kind of back view, where they're showing him throwing the balls in these windows.
Yeah.
And it is noise and traffic everywhere.
It's
and
in the middle of the
zipping
field.
it in.
He's throwing in the middle of the field. That's why people, as we talk about Jalen Hurts don't throw the ball in the middle of the field. He don't even try. He's like, "Nah, bro, you're not setting me up." But it's so much trash in there. It's so much. It's dangerous.
It's so dangerous. It's so noisy. And Caleb's, play action and turning his back, finding the receivers, and
I can't believe
trying to fit the ball into these windows. So I won't belabor the point too much, but was it his best game? No, but this is one of those games where statistically, if you tell me you're going to give me 3 touchdowns in a winning effort, and you picked it up after a slow start and a bad sack for a touchdown, again, I'll take it and move on, because he didn't spiral out of control. Most quarterbacks who give that play up, and I'm with McCarthy up in Minnesota, Mr. What do you call himself? 9. He transforms into 9 or whatever. You see how he's reacting to, physical football and not being able to get easy throws. You look at some of these other quarterbacks, how they're reacting. So again, I thought Caleb, once he got things on track, was it a perfect game? No, but I saw some really the touchdown to DJ Moore in a tight window was an amazing throw. I thought the touchdown to Colston Loveland, he put a slant route right on his chest. And then over the course of the game, I felt like, he made a lot of winning football plays to give us an opportunity to win and keep our defense off the field too. So offensively, not a ton of rushing. Swift and Monangai. Monangai had 48 yards, 12 carries. DeAndre Swift had 8 carries for 15 yards. So when you really think about who won this game and who was the reason behind the offensive outburst, Caleb was the guy.
Yeah, this is week 11, 12 of saying Caleb was the guy. I mean, I'm gonna start calling y'all the bougie Bears.
I can't
believe this, man. My God. I didn't even think that was possible with you guys, man. I just figured you guys were like, man, this guy's gonna break. Listen, guys, he's gonna break every single major Bears passing record, and he'll probably do it in 5 years.
Right. And I thought about what you said too, right? When you and this is the other point I'm gonna make, and then we're gonna move on because I know we got other stuff to talk about. But Bears fans, news flash, Ben Johnson, second news flash. Turn the second, to the second, for those, we grew up with newspapers, so turn to that second page of the newspaper. He took this job because of Caleb Williams. He took this job because of his talent level. Yep. Caleb Williams is Jared Goff on steroids as far as talent level, right? Yep. So the quick release, the ability to throw, the processing, these are all things. It's almost, and we played Madden. I wouldn't actually play this game in Madden, and my score was 34-17. So I was almost close to getting it right. But when you play with a kid like Caleb Williams, who's fast, he's powerful, he's strong arm, he can make all the throws. Ben Johnson is sitting there like, oh my God, there is no play that I can't call. There's no design that I can't put together. And when you look at the Andy Reids, Patrick Mahomes pairing, when you look at the Belichick and Brady and how they work together with their system of McDaniels and what they were doing, when you look at Bill Walsh in Montana, Moore and Peyton Manning, Bears fans, please understand that this is game 11, and we are probably scratching Caleb knowing the offense at about 40 to 50% right now. So it's only going to get better. He's only going to get more reps. So when I look at this, I'm so excited and so proud. There was one play, man, where they showed the Bears offense, and we had Ozzie Trapillo, our second round pick at left tackle. We had Caleb, our first pick, second year quarterback. We had Luke Newman, our fourth round guard that we drafted this year at fullback. We had Kyle Monungai, our seventh round running back we drafted this year. We had Luther Burden out there blocking on the edges for him. And I looked, I said, man, we got all our babies out here, man. These are on the fringe, our young kids, playing elite football and giving us great production. So Bears fans, I know you calling us bougie. Hey guys, let's not get beside ourselves. This is new territory, but please understand that this is a work in progress. And if you're expecting perfection in week 11, I'm sorry, you're not going to get it. Caleb is still human. He's going to have days where, everything is not immediately clicking on every play. He's going to have some moments, but hell, you watch any football on any given Sunday, and you rarely see a perfect football game being played from the quarterback position.
Yeah, because the other team's pretty good. They got a lot of pros out there, man. Meanwhile, you're 8-3. You done won 8 out of your last 9 games. Mm-hmm. Come on, folks. It's the best 9-game record probably in the NFL right now. I don't think any team has had this level of success over a 9-game stretch this season. Oh, and a little bit of, if you want to add some excitement, because I got some early morning texts. Hey, if you lose, you drop. If you lose to the Eagles, you drop down to third in the division. I'm a glass half full kind of guy. If the Rams trip over the Panthers on Sunday, and we mess around and beat the Eagles, your Chicago Bears will be the number 1 seed in the NFC conference. That's crazy.
So just as well as this thing can go left, it can also go right.
Yep.
And I'm not guaranteeing a victory. I'm just saying,
playing for a bye.
Looking at this thing, we could be playing for a bye here soon. We control our own destiny. So,
with 3 losses, you definitely do.
Yeah, it's not all doom and gloom, and we gave ourselves some room, a little bit of cushion to try to, absorb the tough, remaining 5 or 6 games that we got left. Yep. Nobody said it's going to be easy, but I looked at everybody else's schedule, and nobody else got any, Ain't no damn cupcakes out here for the NFC teams that are in this thing.
That's why you never apologize for winning games, and you don't have to give them back. So you got
Nope.
your 8 wins. Nobody else has many wins, so you have it. You know what I'm saying? What do you think? What do you think was kind of the tide that kind of turned this game, or the series, or the play that kind of sealed this game for the Bears? Because this was pretty close. Steelers got back and had it within 3, and I think they had the ball. But where did you see this game was basically turned into a win at what point?
Yeah, I think it was, I want to say going into the third quarter, 21. We were up 24-21, and Montez Sweat, they put Washington on Montez Sweat. They were driving the ball probably around midfield, a little past midfield, going in to score, and Tez, got by Washington and strip sacked Rudolph, and that was one of the things that I was excited about too. We ended up recovering that fumble, and we took that one down. And this is something that we've been struggling with all year, which is turning these turnovers into touchdowns. And we went right down, and that was the play where we got Caleb, got him to jump off sides, and we threw that seam ball to DJ Moore, and that ends up putting us up 31-21 right at the top of that fourth quarter, and put us in a great situation. So that's the to me, I think that was the winning kind of the game turning play for me. Open the game up.
It makes sense, because at that point now the Steelers are on the road and going uphill against the clock with with a backup quarterback. That's a lot. We talked about Metcalf and his ankle in that situation. So you just don't have the horses to try to close the gap. And they did. I mean, they scored. They got a touchdown and made it 28-31, and had a chance. But it's just very difficult in that situation to close that out, man. So another great game. You talked about the coaches out coaching each other, out coaching Tomlinson. So just an excellent game. And I look at the Bears, and two things can be true. You asked me last week, are the Bears kind of fool's gold? Are they legit? This is really a developmental year for the team. People don't even talk about your coach is a damn rookie. He don't even know what he's doing. So you got a rookie coach, a second year quarterback, and you're playing with house money here. Sitting at 8-3, number 1 in the division and stuff like that. And this year was really supposed to be a foundational year to build and develop the team. But the NFL, man, if you get hot, you may as well go, because you never know. And and you all are catching some breaks. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, if Aaron Rodgers ain't available,
ain't our fault.
Ain't your fault, man. You know what I'm saying? So it just is what it is. But this is what the NFL is, man. It's an attrition league. Y'all had 7 guys out. The Bears had 7 players out. So no weeping and crying and tears shed for you all. It is what it is, man. So
and I think I'm gonna push back a little bit on the comment you made. I think even though this is Ben's first year, I think his game management is probably some of the most elite that I've seen. One critical moment that I thought was interesting. We were, and it was 31-28 or something like that, and we had the ball, and critical third down, and play call came in. We there was some confusion with the alignment, and Caleb tries to get us in a play, and then he just says, you know what? Yeah, I'm not gonna run the play. He just lets it run out. I'm screaming at this man, timeout. Ben Johnson, I'm sure everybody else in his headset was saying the same thing. Coach just called a timeout. And he basically, I'm not a lip reader, but in so many words, he's like, we ain't burning our timeouts for that. We'll figure out a way to try to go get 15 yards. We came up 3 yards short, but in the presser, they asked him about it. And he said, my timeouts are too valuable to us. So at the end of a game, that 5 yards, I can go draw up an explosive that'll get us this, which he almost did, as opposed to, losing that timeout. So people asking why we're winning these games. One, I think we're probably one of the most prepared teams in the league, and that could be just our coaching staff in general. Two, scenario, it's almost, I'm gonna use an example here. If I were to tell you to go to the grocery store last minute, and I just give you, I call you short notice, tell it to you over the phone, and tell you get it here in 10 minutes and just hang up, as opposed to, hey, I'm sending you the grocery list, I'm cash apping you the money, I'm also sending you pictures with it, you know what I'm saying? I'm giving you the aisle number, and then when you get there, it'll probably take you 15, 20 minutes. You'll be back, you got plenty of time, don't even worry about it. It's two different feelings, right? And you've been there when a coach makes things less chaotic, when you practice these situations, and we're not just flourishing in these moments because we're lucky. We're flourishing in these moments because we're not stressed. And when you play football and you don't have anxiety on you, you can play. It doesn't always mean, like we talked about, we can have a worse year next year. So I'm not saying it's always going to, give you immediate results. But the confidence to be able to have 3 backups ready, to have your secondary ready. Ben Johnson has probably been, top 3 in that category, even as a rookie coach, as far as having us prepared to play every game.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And I'm right there with you. So we'll wrap this up. Bears win. They go to 8-3, 31-28. Close out and send the Steelers back to Western Pennsylvania with an L on their forehead.
And Steeler Nation is in shambles, man. If you get a chance, go watch Marvin Harrison and I forget the other guy's name, Joe Hayden's their podcast.
Yeah,
they went off around how the Steelers, unprepared, poor coaching. There's a lot of frustration going on in Pittsburgh right now with Tomlin. I don't know how much longer he's going to last in Pittsburgh. I think sometimes that's not that.
The voice just gets stale,
Yeah, and they normally, historically, they've only had three head coaches in their whole franchise history. But I think his voice might be getting a little stale in Pittsburgh. Yeah.
And you can only get up there in front of the podium so many times and say, guys, we make no excuses. We have no alibis. This is still football. We expect to win.
Right.
And we just didn't get it done today.
Yeah.
So
we got to do the ordinary, extraordinary, all that stuff he covered with. And I love Tomlin. I think he's an amazing coach. Unfortunately, with Arthur Smith as his offensive coordinator, they spent a ton of money on their defense. I think their defense makes up over like 60% of their cap. Yeah. And they're just not getting the results from, all the people that they paid on defense.
Yeah, they're in Buffalo, got a similar mindset. Hey, when you got defensive coach, hey, let's get studs on defense, shut everybody out, and then ask a quarterback to come save us, when it comes down to it. And the problem is in an offensive slanted league, offensive happy league, a league that is slanted towards catering to the offense, your defense can be great and still give it up, and then you don't have the dudes on offense to match another team's offense. So it is a tough recipe to win with, no matter what. And that's why the Bears are moving into, the 21st century with their quarterback and coach and stuff like that, and saying, no, we're not doing that out here. We're going to actually put some points up and move the ball, have some explosives. So good win. Let's spin this thing forward as we roll along. Our second game that we're going to cover will be the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, yeah.
Coming
into Look at that stud, man.
AT&T Stadium, a.k.a. Jerry's World, to play the Cowboys. They're wearing their Kelly Green. Is that what it's called? Kelly Green, right?
That's exactly what it's called, Kelly Green. Shout out Randall Cunningham.
Yeah.
Shout out to Reggie White. Who else?
Jerome Brown, Clyde.
Who was the green-eyed DB, man? Number 21. Who was that guy? I forgot his name.
Eric Allen.
Eric Allen. Yeah.
Eric Allen, Keith Jackson,
Mm-hmm.
Keith Byers with them little short ass steps running around.
And Buddy Ryan, man,
Buddy
with the
Ryan,
starter jacket on, looking amazing,
yeah.
man. That's the good old days, man. Yeah,
that's Philly, man, and the worst turf in the history of turf, all of it, you know.
Yeah.
So we know what it is. Philly and Dallas, they ain't never liked each other. Matter of fact, the backdrop is at the elementary school in Philadelphia. They had pictures of all the Dallas Cowboys players and told the little kids to be punching little kids in the face.
Yeah.
And all I can say is, what if Dak came and punched one of them little kids in the face? What would y'all say? What would happen? Would y'all be upset if Dak came in and popped one of them little kids in his face once he hit him back? Probably wouldn't go over too well, huh? Anyway.
I love it. I love a little bad blood. I love a rivalry.
Hey man, we ain't never had an issue, you know, with a rivalry. With a backdrop in this game is simple. Eagles 8-2.
Yeah.
First place in the division, first place in the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of ugly wins, a lot of weird wins. You're 8-2, but you lead the league in 3 and outs. You know, you're 8-2, but your running back is averaging like 3 yards a carry.
Right.
You're 8-2, but your wide receivers complaining about not getting the ball and the offense being inept, and it's just weird.
Mm-hmm.
So, but obviously they have a system and a formula, and I think
amazing
the reality,
roster. Thank you, Howie Roseman, man. Amazing roster.
This is of all the players and so forth. The key to me to Philly's success is Howie Roseman. He's just put together an all-star cast, man, with no holes. And a team is so strong and so loaded that they really didn't have to do anything risky or, you know, take any chances or anything to win games. They literally could just play their game, play to their strengths, and beat you that way. And we haven't seen that in a long time in the NFL, in the free agency salary cap league. It's very hard to have it. Most teams have holes, and they have other extremes that cover the hole.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And no, that's a great point. And then you bring up a great point. I'll say this and then I'll shut up. Saquon Barkley, you got a guy who can go 70, 80, yards, which he's done. Yeah. And you when you talk about a non-risky offense or explosive offense, they have that in their back pocket. They also have 2 elite receivers, great tight end. Yep. A QB who's able to run mobile, and it's just a lot of what I call bandwidth, and they have a lot of leeway to what I call get explosives out of being vanilla. You throw a 2-yard slant that goes 80. You throw a crossing route, and they'll house it. So. Not taking anything away from Philly. I just think with the talent level they have on offense, they don't get too creative. They don't make mistakes, and eventually, they can jump out on you and turn it over to that defense to close you out.
So Cowboys on the other end, 4-5-1 going into this game, coming off of a win. Yeah. Really made a lot of changes on the trade deadline. The backdrop is they lost a player a couple of weeks ago to, self-inflicted the suicide. So the team is rallying around that, and also rallying around the strength of some free agent acquisitions. Some young players getting better, and some people coming back from injuries. How does your team get better? Number 1, free agent acquisitions. Number 2. Players getting better that are on the roster. Number 3, people who come back from injury, right? So your team can get better, and the Cowboys are looking to show that they were not just a fluke when they played the Raiders. So here you are, you start this game off. Yeah. Man, you talked about
talk to me about how you think how your offense started out against this Philly defense. Let's start there.
Yeah, the offense started out really flat.
Mm-hmm.
They got the first. They won the toss and decided they were gonna, or they lost the toss, decided they were gonna take the ball or whatever. Maybe Philly deferred, but the bottom line is the The Cowboys had the ball first, and they were hell bent on going down the score. And we talk about this. Why is everyone going for 2? Why is everyone going for it on 4th down?
Right.
And you watch the Philadelphia Eagles week in and week out. You watch them against Detroit. You watch them against these other teams, and teams are consistently trying the Philadelphia Eagles defense and going for it on 4th down. The Cowboys moved the ball to midfield, got to midfield, got to a 4th and 3 or 4th and 4 or something like that, and decided to go for it. And didn't get it. And it's so weird to me that you see this defense that is just loaded with talent over and over again, and you continuously try it on 4th down instead of playing the field position game or taking the field goal when you know that their offense has not been great. So the thing you're going to do is risk giving the other team a short field when that may be the only way they can move the ball and score is a short field.
Right.
So I just wasn't in favor of that. And the Cowboys didn't, and the Philadelphia Eagles took the ball right there at midfield, put together a nice little drive, and went right down the field and scored a touchdown. 7-zip Cowboys, 7-zip Eagles. Dallas gets the ball, moves down the field, and they turn it over. Okay. Philadelphia gets the ball and scores. Dallas punts.
Yeah. Was that the Turpin fumble? That was was that the Turpin where he just this is another
the first turnover when the Cowboys
interception. Yeah.
Yeah. The Cowboys had a chance to score a touchdown on the goal line. And Blankenship, covered CD pretty well.
That's right. Yeah.
I think Dallas probably forced it a little bit. And And I thought Blankenship, I thought he grabbed on CD a little bit, but it was pretty minor. He leveraged him a little bit to gain and close the gap. And the Dak didn't put enough on that ball, and it ended up in Blankenship's hand. So once again, you get down to the goal line. But remember, the reason why this happened was because the Cowboys got to the 1-yard line off of a run. And Tyler Guyton, who's a young player, he's a second-year player, he already jumped off sides against Denver and moved Dallas back and forced Dallas to not get in. And then you do it again. And these are two of the better teams in the NFL defensively, the Eagles and the Broncos. Well, it don't seem like much, but you move 5 yards back, and all of a sudden,
it makes a difference.
We can't run it in. So they go to a pass play. Maybe they should have tried to run it, but the bottom line is that was a mistake on the offense that put the Cowboys in a bad position, and now you're still down. You're down 14-0, and then after that you get a stop, and then Turpin fumble and gave the ball back to the Eagles on a short field, and then they go down and score again.
So just like that, 21-0.
21-0.
Oh, sorry, by the second quarter. Yeah.
In the second quarter, the Cowboys have played just reckless football. But the one thing you can see is, we forgot the Cowboys stopping the Eagles and having a chance to get off the field. Ryan Flournoy almost blocks the punt, and he gets his hand on it. Yeah, but it's a very light hand, and then he goes underneath the kicker, and the kicker ends up hitting him in the face, but somehow he gets a roughing the kicker call, and it goes from 3rd and 14 to 1st down. And the Cowboys still stopped the Eagles on 3rd and 10, and the Javion Clowney was lined up in the neutral zone to make it 3rd and 5, and then they got another 1st down. That's how they ended up scoring the other touchdown, the 14 points.
And back to that block, back to that roughing the kicker, he actually got a finger on it, and they showed it on. He did. So technically, that shouldn't have been. Had you got challenged, it should have been challenged.
And Schottenheimer, who's also a new coach, we talked about Ben Johnson. Schottenheimer said that his staff could not get a clean enough look to confirm that it was a touch, and that even though he trusted Flournoy, he couldn't risk the
loss of the
challenge and so forth. But think about this: the Cowboys have fallen behind. Imagine if he challenges that, and and now that's a tip, and the Cowboys get the ball back.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it's not 21-0. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? You go in, it might have been 14-7 or 14-10 at halftime, and the whole game would have been. It didn't have to be, 21-0. And I think that was one of the things that, even though I was upset, I walked out the damn sports bar and I said, I'm sick of this. I got between the sloppy play and that drunk ass dude that kept telling me about Jerry Jones and not being able to see what the heck's going on because he was so drunk. I had to get out of there.
Right. Vibes were bad.
The one thing that I can say is, you go into halftime and you're thinking, okay, it's 21-7.
Yeah.
But the Cowboys didn't get outplayed by the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
The Eagles out-executed, and the Cowboys self-inflicted the wounds over and over and over again.
Yeah, let me ask you this too. Sorry, I don't want to get you off track, but I thought about it while you were speaking. It almost feels a little eerily similar, and we were talking about it with the Bears-Minnesota game. When we played them the second time, it felt like, in that first matchup, you guys had done something very similar, given the game, almost like, allowing them to capitalize off mistakes and just mishaps and things that you were doing. So this game was kind of flowing in that same way. So maybe they gave you guys some calm, sometimes they give you, some confidence and some solace in saying, you know what, let's just not beat ourselves and let's go kick these guys' ass, man. Because at a certain point, you can't keep dropping the ball. You can't keep fumbling. And you look up and you're like, we've done absolutely, nothing right to really help ourselves. And we only 14 down. And in the modern day NFL, that's nothing. That's nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's really what it was. And I think there was a halftime speech in which, Quentin Williams and Javion Clowney, they kind of went over to the offense and said, look, man, we know how explosive you are. We got your back. We're not gonna fade off in this game. We're gonna get you some stops. Just get back in this game. And I think that was a big deal for them to say, man, the Cowboys defense has been so bad. There ain't been a whole bunch of games in which the defense has been able to say anything like getting anybody's back.
That's what I was getting ready to say. The fighting Fluces came over to the offense and told them they got their back. That'll get you fired up on offense.
It'll get you fired up. And I think if you were on defense, you said, man, this offense has kept us afloat all year long. Right. They've covered our ass so many times when we looked bad and we were giving it up, and they outscored the Giants, you know what I mean? And so forth, and giving us a shot. Man, we owe it to these guys, to get them back in the game and give them a chance, because we know what they can do. And I think they rallied behind that.
And quiet as kept, you guys got the talent now with Quentin Williams up in the middle, with Wilson, with the health Overshown. I think Overshown was back, and he was making plays. So sometimes it's the Jimmys and the Joes being back to be able to do it for you.
That's what it is. And the thing about Flus is I felt bad because, you come in and you trade Michael Parsons. He's like, man, what you want me to do with this team? I don't have any of the components that I really need, and now you give him another star 3 technique. So you get your depth of defensive line. Right. Your defensive ends, your young guys get a little bit better. Clowney's starting to get his legs back under him. You get Logan Wilson. You get Overshown.
Clark
and now
was good too. Clark was pushing that pocket too, man.
Who?
Clark.
Oh yeah, Kenny Clark. Yeah, I'm saying also Odigizua. So you're talking about that, and then with Kenneth Murray, he was a guy who had made some plays, but he wasn't. His problem is he was slotted wrong. In other words, you have him playing way too many snaps.
Yeah.
And sometimes you need a guy to fall back into his natural position. Same thing with Fowler and them guys. Them guys aren't guys who start and play the whole game. They come in on spot a series and spot guys, and then they do damage for you. So getting your starters back and getting healthy allows your role players to fall back into their natural positions. Yeah. And so
I completely agree with that. Yeah, defensively, you guys look much more stout against the run. I'm looking at. I got to go back. I don't think Saquon had over 30 yards. Let me go back and check.
Saquon had 23 yards rushing.
That's right, 23 yards. Hell, I'll take that. If we would have, had this pod and talked about it, on Friday night, and I said, hey, what does it take to win? I'm sure you would have said stop the run. Yeah. And 23 yards to Saquon ain't nothing to sneeze at, bro.
Yeah. No, they had a total of 60-something yards rushing, and that's with Jalen Hurts running, and then the backup came in and he had a couple of rushes.
Big,
and that was it.
That was it. Yeah, that was amazing. That was an amazing job up front by you guys.
The over under for Saquon going into the game was 76 yards rushing.
Yeah.
They didn't have 76 yards total.
Nope.
And so what that did was it forced the Eagles to play one-dimensional and kind of play into a situation where Jalen Hurts had to throw into traffic. He doesn't like it. And then the pass rush started to get into his lap and get into his space. Yeah. And he was not comfortable completing passes down the field.
Right.
And so that gives the Cowboys enough time to close the gap in the second half and get back into the game. And you look up and it's 14-21. And you're like, okay, you get to the fourth quarter and you raise your hand and say, hey, look, if you told me we was going to go into the fourth quarter down by a touchdown with this offense, would you take it?
Yes.
Yes.
Crowd got into it. I think the confidence of the team got into it. And this guy right here, I got to pull him back up, man. Woo.
Yeah.
We talked about increasing his targets and getting him more involved in the offense. And sometimes, guys, as a former receiver, you can you see these two guys laying on the ground. This is Pickens making a play, a big play, chunk play, where I haven't even looked at the numbers. I'm gonna go back and look at his targets versus receptions, but I guarantee it's high. Yeah. The ability for him
it was 9 for 9.
Yeah, 9 for 9. The ability for him to be able to dictate coverages and not allow you to have any say so. You can roll coverage, you can drop coverage, you can do anything you want to. But that number 3 right there, and I know my other Mo out in Jersey, I know he watching. He's saying Dak's finally got a number 1 receiver. I think you guys got 2. This guy is just special, bro. At the end of the day, there's not many guys you can look to early, often, late, and you're gonna get a reception, and that changes the dynamic of your offense.
And I just want to say one thing real quick, before we wrap toward this game up and how it closed out. But there's CD didn't have his best game. He got targeted 11 times, and he had 3 drops. Yeah. And he had some big ones. He had some drops. But the difference is, and the one thing I need people to understand, if you're watching this, CD Lamb is the person who's drawing all of the coverage. Okay, he is playing in traffic. He's the one that's dealing with the trash. He's the one that has people, surrounding him and up under him. He's the one who has that excellent cornerback for the Eagles draped all over him, and he's drawing that coverage. And so he's having to catch a lot more contested balls, balls with coverage around him. And so some of those catches are going to be messy. They're not going to be as clean and as pretty, but it is clearly opening it up for Pickens to make it even worse for the other team, because I don't think you could stop Pickens if you had the coverage over there, but you certainly can't with one guy out there singled up. It's just,
so that's what I was going to ask you. How do you deal with that as a defense? How do you try to stop that?
Yeah, what I would do is I would try to look at the coverage and the plays and see if I could see if this is a play that typically goes to CD or goes to Pickens, and try to roll to my tendencies. Probably take some chances and double over here and route a guy here to see if I could could maybe catch Dak in a position where he makes a mistake, because there's very, very, very few teams that have two corners that can cover up. So you're going to have to get safety help. You're going to have to get some people rolling over, and it's going to compromise your defense one way or another. You just got to take a chance to see which one you're going to try to stop.
You said pick your poison. It's a pick your poison. Yeah. Yeah,
and see if you just can take a chance and stuff, because if you guys are thinking that CeeDee Lamb is out here and he's just dropping the balls, look at the amount of contest that he has around him when he drives on the ball. He's got people around him, because the play to Ferguson on third down when the Cowboys were driving to win the game. Okay, let's talk about that winning drive after they stopped the Eagles. The Eagles had a ball on 3rd and 2. And they threw a pass play, one of the most vanilla routes you're going to see, basically sent 2 people up the field to turn around. Nobody was open, and Jalen Hurts got sacked.
Yes.
And then you flip it to the other side. The Cowboys have 3rd and 2. They send CeeDee Lamb in motion. They send him on a crosser, and 3 people take CeeDee Lamb on a crosser, okay? And Jake Ferguson is wide open behind them for the first down.
Right.
That is the CeeDee Lamb effect. And I can tell you, you can get off of that if you want to, but he's going to give you 150 and 2 touchdowns. He's just waiting to do it.
I'm so happy you said that. I'm so happy. So Marlon, Mo, Jersey Mo, all that texting me and telling me how CeeDee, I said the guy's a 3-time All-Pro. He has some, what I call lack of concentration drops, and he also has some contested drops. But he's also a guy who demands attention, who, if you don't make him a priority, he won't just catch it, he'll house it, right? So we talk about the explosive ability that he gives your offense. So sometimes you don't have to choose. Sometimes it's just enjoy. And you talk about the bougie Bears, the Cowboys fans, don't forget when CeeDee went down with that ankle injury,
right?
How everybody was, when you coming back? You healthy yet? They checking in on his health and breaking all kind of HIPAA laws, trying to see his damn X-rays and trying to get him back on the field. So let's not get carried away. I think CeeDee adds a dynamic to this offense, and you talk about you want your receiving core to look like a basketball team.
That's right.
And right now, you have a really well put together 1-2 punch, 1-1 punch. Sorry, 1-1 punch. And as you guys advance down this, I call this is a treacherous path of games that you got, right?
Yeah.
Over the next 5-6 weeks, you need 2 dynamic guys on the edges to be able to, make plays. So
to dictate and to have a mismatch, and that no matter what you do, that you're going to have an advantage in the game that you can go to down the stretch, man. And so, I'm looking forward to this, man. You got a guy like Ryan Flournoy. And the thing about, we're talking about our 2 coaches, right? Talking about Ben Johnson and Schottenheimer. Schottenheimer is taking over the leadership of this team. Do you know the Cowboys have released players? They are cutting people now. Damone Clark got waived.
What'd he do?
He's a linebacker. He was in the starting lineup at the beginning of the season. Now he's in Houston.
You know why I'm laughing? So word is, I don't know if it's true or not, out in Vegas, CeeDee was, that was the reason why they got benched. Him and Pickens out there, they done missed curfew. They out 7:30 a.m. And I thought about Jimmy Johnson, and they said, I treat everybody the same. What do you say? I treat everybody fair, but I treat everybody, but I don't treat everybody the same. So y'all cut. Who was the guy you said y'all cut? What was his name?
Damone Clark.
I'm sorry, Damone. Damone made curfew. Damone was inside the hotel room.
Bye. Goodbye.
Man, see, that's how good CeeDee is, man. So if you want to know how good CeeDee is, there you go. That's how valuable he is. God damn, Damone.
Look, they said they asked Jimmy Johnson. They said, what are you gonna do if a third string lineman fall asleep in the meeting? He's like, I'm cutting his ass. He said, well, what you gonna do if Troy Aikman fall asleep in the meeting? He said, I'm gonna wake him up. I said, Troy, get up.
I ain't gonna never forget Damone Clark, man. Subscribe to the channel, man. Damone, I got some work for you, man. We gotta be. You didn't deserve that, Damone. But go ahead, sorry. So Shotty taking over with the leadership. So.
He cut Kyer Elam this week. Kyer Elam was a starter in the first Philadelphia game, and he's cut. Yeah. He released him. Like, the Cowboys are saying, if you're not a part of this team and going forward in the future, and and the development, and we're competing every single day, and you can't make the cut. Yeah. We got to go with we don't have any room on this bandwagon for anyone who's not competing, not ready to go. You can come back to camp next year and try to get it, get back. But right now, we got to go with the guys. This is what I'm saying. And so you got two coaches in their first year, and they're putting their fingerprints, their thumbprints on their team, man. And this is what we're asking for. Nobody is saying, the Bears are gonna go, win the whole thing this year. You're gonna make it playoffs probably, but nobody's saying that. And the Cowboys probably won't even make the playoffs. But you're setting a system and a foundation that says this is what our culture is, and this is how we win. And you got to go through this way to win, or else it's not gonna happen. And that's all I'm excited about. No,
that's a great point, and you're right. You've been urgent since I want to say week 3. We talked about Jaden Blue, and you're like, hey man, we ain't got time to really, get you up to speed on what I call the fundamentals of the game, and being ready to go out there and play at a high level.
We just saw Elijah Clark make the most amazing play on special teams. On that punt. I mean, that was a game-changing play. I mean,
amazing play, man.
It was an unbelievable play.
Show that to all the high school kids out there. Show that to anybody who says they want to play NFL football. That's the type of effort that goes into creating a winning team, right? If you get guys doing that,
undrafted free agent out of Syracuse. He is on the team, and Kyer Elam is cut.
Hey man, the politics of the NFL, when you get guys like Shotty and Ben Johnson, and they're breaking those what I call the political, just because you were drafted or because you were you're getting paid X amount of money that you automatically go make the field no matter what the hell you do. Yeah. No. You got to put the best. You got to put the best 53 out on the field. The margins are too thin in the NFL.
And you make them compete, man. You put it on film and you make them compete, man. You know what I'm saying? So, we kind of went to a side, but the Cowboys came back. There was some plays that I didn't like. I think after that Kyer Elam play, not Kyer Elam, the Elijah Clark play, and the Cowboys had the ball on goal to goal. I don't agree with that. I think you kick the field goal right there, and you do so. Shotty said 2 things. He said, I like the play that I had, but the Philadelphia Eagles snuffed it out. Yeah, that's what they do. They got one of the best defenses in the entire NFL.
Vic Fangio. Vic is a guy you don't want to,
You don't want to keep living a goal.
You don't want to give him those types of opportunities because he's so sound with his scheme that oftentimes in those situations he saved a little something in his back pocket for those types of moments that you haven't seen, and he'll show you a little something different than what you normally expecting to happen. So I didn't agree with what you guys not taking points there either. I'm at a point now where I feel like, we hear a lot of the analysts, well, even if you miss it, they start with the ball off on the the out of the shadow of their own end zone. So whatever side of the coin you fall on, I always fall on the side of let's take a lead, and if we take a lead, your defense can make a play, anything can happen, and you give yourself a little room for error. You guys chose a different path and it worked out, and that's why these guys get paid millions of dollars to make those decisions. So in this instance, it worked out for you, right? So no need to try to belabor the point of you living dangerously a little bit, but we would have liked to seen a more conservative approach there for sure.
Yeah, and we talked about it, but the Eagles had 3rd and 2 on their own, like 35-yard line, and they ran a running play. So here's the thing: they didn't run the ball; they ran a passing play on 3rd and 2. The Philadelphia Eagles with that offensive line and Saquon Barkley did not run the ball on 3rd and 2.
Right.
And they ran a passing play, put the ball in their quarterback's hand, and there was no one open, and he took a sack. And it really should have been a holding penalty. The offensive lineman held Oza Odighizuwa as long as he could, and he just had to let him go because he was going to get a penalty.
I don't know what's a holding anymore in the NFL. Unfortunately, we deal with that every week where guys, offensive linemen can basically have you in a chokehold, and they won't call it. So, at the end of the day, man, I think not to belabor the point, I think from what I saw a lot of mettle from you guys to come back and get into this game, especially in a rivalry game when you go down 21-0. I'm sure the emotional swing in the stadium was huge.
And there was a lot of fans in that stadium too, so they traveled. They
traveled well.
Yeah, so they were there. Totally contested game. Cowboys get the W, and so this puts us in a situation where, both teams, Cowboys and the Bears, along with the Eagles, are all getting ready to play here this weekend, coming up on a short week. So everyone's on the same playing field. Short week. The Eagles got a real short week. They played on Monday, and now they played on Sunday. Now they playing on Friday. The Cowboys played on Sunday. Now they playing on Thursday.
Thanksgiving Day games.
Thanksgiving Day game, and they're playing the Kansas City Chiefs, who pulled out a win in overtime against.
So that's a great segue, man. So talk to me. I know we both are very intimate and familiar with Kansas City. They're coming with a big win against the Colts. Season kind of saving win that helps keep them in the fight.
That was going to go under 500 for the first time since like 2018 or something like that.
Yeah, so you get them coming in. I don't want to put you on the spot again. We always ask. I don't know if are you going to KC or are they coming to you guys?
No, they
should be coming to you guys, right?
Yeah, this is Thanksgiving. The Cowboys host every time.
Okay,
the Cowboys in Detroit.
You got them coming to see you.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about this beforehand, but what are you expecting with this KC game and how you feeling around what you need to do to stop them and get a win?
So here's the thing, like against the Eagles, I was not in favor of going for it like that on 4th down, taking the chances against Vic Fangio, how solid they are on defense and stuff.
Yeah.
And also I felt like our defense was solid enough and playing well enough to keep the Eagles at bay. So punt the ball, pin them deep, play defense, and you'll be fine. You'll get another bite at the apple before Philly, puts up points. I feel the opposite with Kansas City. I feel like when you're dealing with Patrick Mahomes, you need to expect to put up some points. You need to be able to take, to be something. I don't think that their defense is quite as sound as Philadelphia's. They got some players. They do some things with some blitz and stuff, but Dak likes to take on a blitz. So I think that you have an opportunity to keep the pressure on the Chiefs and make them have to keep up with you offensively in this game and play Christmas. So I would like to say, push it, man. Push it to the metal. Run it, throw it, try to score points. Always take the points when they're given. But see if because honestly, the Chiefs haven't looked amazing on offense, all year long. So it'll be interesting to see if they can manufacture and move the ball, get the ball out and score points. You got Mahomes, so you literally, honestly, Jalen is what he is. He ain't Patrick Mahomes. He's just not.
No. So a couple of answers. I agree. I think, you guys got to be aggressive. And this is one where we know how talented this organization is. You know how talented. I think this is not a great team. I think their dynasty window is, at least from a player perspective, as far as their talent level, this might be their least talented team.
Taking a reset.
Yeah, I think they're taking a reset there. 6-5 on the year. Interesting. They're 5-1 at home, which means they struggle on the road. This is one where you got a short week, not a lot of time to prepare. So I don't think you get a lot of
overtime too.
Yeah. I don't think you will see a lot of what I call And on both sides, you don't have a ton of time to game plan. So this is a Jimmy's and Joe's game. This is to me a Flus game. Andy Reid versus Flus. We know just how creative Andy Reid can be and some things that he can do. I'm interested in see what you guys do on defense. Do you kind of sit back and try to bend but don't break? The Chiefs have been, a little what I call sporadic on offense this year. They haven't looked like the same juggernaut. Or do you guys try to create a little pressure and get up in their face a little bit and say, you know what, we want to get this ball back to our offense to try to jump out on them, right? I think I don't want you guys to let them hang around. I know I see I see the anxiety with that thought process on my end, but I'm thinking, I would rather you guys put this ball in your offense hands. And if you can get a splash turnover or a splash play, I think that's more valuable and make them less efficient as opposed to letting these guys dink and dunk and kind of keep the chains moving. That's my thought process on it. What do you think? I think you got some thoughts on it.
Yeah, I agree. I think you try to look to put the pressure on this defense. I think that, over the course of time, they can wear down a little bit, Chris Jones and those guys up front. So, maybe a little bit high tempo, put some pressure on them. And let me tell you something. If you're Dallas and your offensive line can push Philadelphia around, okay, if you can move Jordan Davis, if you can move Carter, and those linebackers, Bond and all those guys, if you can run the ball on them, and the Cowboys had success running the ball the other day, then you should be able to run the ball on Kansas City. Now, Kansas City does a great job of scheming to stop the run, so I know that that's something that Spagnuolo is going to try to do. He's going to try to make you one-dimensional and stuff like that. But I just think the Cowboys are too strong up front running the ball, and I think if you're going to control the game, do it that way. And then take some shots up top, and I think that you see if Patrick Mahomes and his offense is going to be able to keep balance. I don't think, that was my point. That's my point. I think your defense plays better when they eliminate the run opportunity. So if you guys can get out in front, you guys were able to kind of, you see what you guys were able to do when you got Saquon bottled up and turn Philly one-dimensional. I think you guys excel on defense in that space as opposed to, they have offensive
being in a closer game. Yeah. And
they have offensive lineman compromise. So once again, the problem that you have when you face a defensive front in which the front seven is strong, especially in the interior, is if you have weak spots, it shows up so quickly because it's so direct to get directly to the quarterback, whereas coming off the edge, a quarterback can kind of step up. But there's nowhere to go. If you cannot block the interior, it's so hard on your QB, man. So I'm banking on Dallas being able to do that and have some success there. But to make no mistake about it, you feel like if you beat the Super Bowl champ, you should be able to beat the Super Bowl runner-ups. But we know how this is, man. The Chiefs are a different bird. They got a different type, pedigree with them.
I'm just looking at Kareem Hunt had 104 yards on 30 carries last game against the Colts. Shoot Rice led the team in receptions, 8 receptions, 141. They also got Xavier Worthy. They got Kelsey. Juju. They got Tyquan Thornton. They got some little firepower over there. And that's why I really want you guys to, sometimes I think in the NFL, you got to lean into your strengths and that changes from week to week, depending upon your health and just the situation. And this is one where I'm like, I would welcome the shootout with KC and hope that they miss a turn or two to where you can jump out on them I just don't love being in a close game with KC. They're very seasoned. They played a lot of football, a lot of close games. They know how to win close games.
Yep.
And I also don't love the Andy Reid chess match with Flus when he has everything at his disposal. Now you take the run game away, I think it kind of closes that gap. And to your point, their offensive line is a little bit compromised. I think if you guys could still get a splash player, make them less efficient for a couple of series. I think that's especially on a short week with not a lot of what I call prep time. I take my chances with that game plan. We'll see what the Cowboys and Shotty come up with, but this is really, you guys have started your playoffs. Last 2 weeks really. Both teams desperate and not trying to add pressure to you, but it's almost, hell, you drop this one and it's getting late, right? It's getting late, getting late early. So you got to get it.
So they said that this game will probably have the highest regular season rating in the history of the NFL regular season game, because it's the Cowboys and the Chiefs. Right. And because we both won and we both at 500 or above, there's something at stake. No team is terrible. But think about what we have. We got Packers, Lions, Cowboys, Chiefs.
Yes.
And then Friday we have Bears, Eagles. My goodness. Oof. This is beautiful, man.
Hey, all I know is after Thursday night, we're gonna be we'll be in great shape in the division. So I'm hoping, that's a good segue as we go into this Black Friday 3 p.m. game. Normally it's a Thursday night game, so we get an extra day. We had everybody back in the building. Normally we get everybody back in the building on Wednesday. We actually had everybody back in the building today. We came out of last game, knock on wood, relatively, healthy. I'm expecting Gordon, our nickel cornerback, and I'm expecting Jalen Johnson to play and to start. I'm hoping we get TJ Edwards back on defense.
You guys should be shutting Philly's offense down.
You know what? I'm on the fence a little bit around. It's almost like you guys kicked the wasp nest, and me and you walked over to the damn wasp nest together, and you hit it with a damn stick and took off running, and now it's sitting here and I got to deal with it. So I wish we could have played them, after y'all beat them. I think they come out with a sense of urgency. I'm not afraid or I feel like we can't win the game. I just kind of understand from a roster standpoint, their strength in the trenches is our weakness. So this is one of those games, if we can hold our water up front, I definitely think we got a shot to really make some noise. The reality is Lane Johnson is down at right tackle. I think that made a difference in just how efficient they are.
Yep.
It wasn't talked about a lot. They mentioned it, but that impacted them greatly. Yep. Can we generate enough pressure to that you guys did this week to get Philly off balance and stop the run? You guys did an amazing job of stopping the run, and that's something that we've struggled with. And again, Saquon is a home run hitter, and we've been a little bit porous with our run fits. So I think the game plan for me is a little bit opposite. We don't need to take a whole bunch of chances on defense early. I would wait to see if we can, shut them down and hold them to 3 a little bit and put this one in our offense's hands to see if we can make a little noise on offense. I think you guys have, like you said, those dynamic receivers. We're not as dynamic as you guys out on the edges.
Yeah, but you got good.
I think we got some talent, and we got schematics. Yeah, we got the schematics. I think with Ben Johnson again with a short week and the condensed time to plan. I'm very confident Ben Johnson can put together a game plan that's going to be able to keep us close within striking distance and give us a chance to win in the end. I expect a bigger commitment to the run to try to, keep them, I say, at bay to where they're just not rushing upfield on us and getting after Caleb. This is a big moment for Caleb. This is a big moment for the Bears. This is our first real test on the national stage, and this what I call moment of the standalone game. Do we belong, right? And I made a comment: if the Rams lose to the Panthers and we beat the Eagles, then all of a sudden, we run, we sit atop of the National Football League conference, the NFC conference. We'll be the number 1 seed, right?
Yep.
So there's a little bit, we come into a lot of these games as the hunter, where we going in. I don't think we snuck through the back door on anybody. I just think people didn't take us seriously, and even America has even looked at these wins that we've had. I don't think they've taken them as serious as I think they should, to give us the credit that we deserve. But also, Ben Johnson's been talking about it. I've been talking about it. You got to go earn your respect, and this is a game where we can go do that. Philly's no slouch. There's no pushover. And to your point,
I do think that they are on the verge, and I do think if y'all can get out and put some doubt in their minds, that they can be kind of, dude, we're kind of falling apart fast, man. Here we go again type situation.
Yeah, and that's the reason why I'm leaning on Ben offensively. Against you guys, we came out with some shot plays, some wrinkles that really kind of took you guys off guard. I want to say they lost, was it Bradbury, number 24? They lost one of their big secondary guys back there.
They lost
Mbuka, whatever his name is. What's the kid's name? Number 24. Anyway, lost a big piece in that secondary. We'll get it right here. I'll look it up. But okay. Well, I'm not praying for injuries, anything like that.
No, but Blankenship hurt his hamstring or his hip, and he couldn't come back in the game. That was one of the things that Dallas was able to exploit. He was the one who intercepted CD in the end zone.
Yeah, but I do think for us, this is a big moment for a young team to come out and try to establish some respect, not just in the conference, but within the NFL. I know you guys will probably have, it's going to be like you said, the biggest game during this holiday weekend. I think we'll be the second.
You'll be right there.
We'll be right there.
Chicago, Philly. Those are big markets on a Friday. That's going to be
a lot at stake.
Look at your record. Look at your combined records. It's better than Dallas and Kansas City.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's one of those games where I think people are expecting the Eagles to come out and take care of business, and I'm confident that Ben Johnson is going to have us ready to play and have us ready to go in that moment. I'm in the camp of let's throw the hell out. No bullets left in the chamber. We got no reason to be afraid or scared in the sense of the play calling. This is one of the games where I am a proponent of being aggressive. If we got to steal a couple of possessions. We got to steal a couple of points if we can. When given an opportunity, if we got drives that are on the fringe and we get in those 4th and 1s or situations where, taking 7 instead of 3 might be the difference between a win and a loss. We got a tough schedule. We got the Packers here twice. We got the Lions once. And then we have the 49ers. So we still have a lot of conference games that we got to figure out how to win.
You got control of everything, though. You can knock some teams out.
Right. But I'm saying this is one of those weeks where other people are looking like, the Bears are going to get killed because it's a short week. I'm looking at it from a different perspective of this might be the best time to catch Philly, right?
Yeah.
Short week, coming off a loss, and a couple of injuries, and if we can come in and play on, like you say, the psyche a little bit and jump on them quick and run out of there, run out of the link and jump on a quick flight back to Chicago, man, at 9-3, I wouldn't be mad at it heading into a mini bye, getting ready for the Packers. So I'm in the camp of, let's throw caution to the wind, play aggressive. We got obviously a few guys down on defense, but the Eagles, to me, they're explosive, but they're not, like I say, they're very vanilla. So I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of intricate concepts. The question is, can we stand up to them, trying to play that style on us? And if they can, then it's going to be trouble for us.
Yeah. Yeah, they're explosive in the sense that they're just talented everywhere. And if you're inferior to them, then they will take advantage of you. But if you can match their physicality and stuff like that, they really don't have any. There's no scheme or X's and O's that's really gonna wear out. You guys have a much better scheme and X's and O's than they have. You know what I'm saying? So the question is can Caleb execute it and take advantage of it and stuff like that? Dallas did. I mean, Dallas scored 24 points, but they left at least 10 to 14 points. He threw an interception on the goal line, and Brandon Aubrey missed a 50-yard field goal. I mean, that's 10 points right there. You got to at least say you get that. And then you went on 4th and goal on the goal line and didn't get it. So you had goal to go twice and got 0, and you missed a field goal. That's 17 points easily. And let's say one of them was a field goal. Okay, 13 points.
Right. Still impactful. No, you're right. You're right.
You put 13 more points up, and now the score is 37 to 21. Right. So it's the same. It wasn't anything other than poor execution on Dallas's part, and Philly took advantage of it. But it wasn't like they made any type of spectacular thing happen, So
no, you're right.
You should be able to look at them and say, dude, we can move the ball on them. Adoree Jackson can't wait to
I think we'll move the ball on them. We're gonna. It might take us a moment to settle in because of the stakes. This is our first, what I call, high stakes game with expectations, right? So I think from that perspective, if we can settle in early and fast, that'll definitely help our case. I just don't want us to get down and allow them to kind of dictate the terms. I would love for us to jump on them and show them early that they're in a dogfight. And from my perspective, I think our offensive line, man, that's one thing I didn't talk about. They've been playing really, really good football. And the Philly defensive line is, we know how talented they are. So it's good on good in that regard. And if we can keep Caleb upright and not under duress, and Caleb can keep calm and not get too, try to be Superman too early. If it's not there early, throw it away. Just kind of understand, the complexity between, taking chances versus taking smart chances versus being careless. I think is the big piece in this game for him, and going out and winning it when he has a chance. So exciting.
Forward to it, guys.
Looking forward to it, man. So great football. I call 5-6 day stretch for us, for both of us. We'll be back on the weekend to talk just the results of those games. But hell, man, we might be looking at two highly, both our teams right in the thick of this thing for the playoff race if we can get 2 wins.
So all you can ask for is just play meaningful football down the stretch, man. So we'll wrap up the NFL.
Yeah, man. Let's talk Lakers.
Lakers. Let's talk Lakers real quick. We'll get to the NBA and get more depth, but right now we're looking at the Lakers. They're number 4 in the power rankings. LeBron James just came back this week, so this is one of the first times they have a full roster. But DeAndre Ayton is out the next game. I saw a flyer that came across, so he's going to be out. He's got a bruised knee. So once again, we're not whole again, but this team is deep. They play well. They are 12-4. They sit in second place.
Wow.
In the vaunted Western Conference. And so, and to be honest, even though OKC is 16-1, they played one of the weakest schedules in the NBA. They played a lot of bad teams and just beat them up.
Mm-hmm.
And they beat the Lakers too. The Lakers didn't have any players when they played them. So, it's the OKC. A lot of people feel like Denver is actually better than OKC now. Yeah, but so we'll see. But the bottom line is the Lakers are right in there. It looks like they've developed a lot of chemistry, even with all these players that have been out and injured. They got a system to play with, and it's all centered around Luka, man. And the fact that every night he's giving you about 30 to 33 points. And so because you have that, once you get about 20 to 25 from Austin, you're talking about 60 points from two players, and that's kind of your centerpiece. And everyone else just kind of does their thing around that. LeBron James is getting his legs back up under him, and he's starting to look like a player. So we know what he'll look like once he gets going. But this team is loaded. What are you seeing on your end as far as the way they're playing right now? Just the way they're gelling and stuff like that to get to 12-4.
Man, first off, I'm gonna start off with the head of the snake, Luka. Playing amazing basketball, man. He leads the team 34 points a game. He leads the team in rebounds with 8 a game. Also leads the team in assists with 8 a game, and also leads the team in steals. So when you talk about he's averaging 2 steals a game. Last night he stole a ball and nutmegged Kevin Love. Tossed it up to your boy, what's his name, the damn center. I can't think of his name right now. Jackson. And
what a play.
He's smiling and he kind of skipping, man. And I'm to answer your question, they look so free and easy. And I don't know, sometimes you had these years where the chemistry is just off the charts. I think they naturally like playing. They like being around each other. And they love playing with each other. Everybody was kind of talking about how LeBron was going to fit in, and he eased his way back in this week with 2 games. Looks still getting his win, but as far as fitting in, he looked great and found a way to incorporate himself. From a basketball standpoint, the familiarity with JJ's offense, I think, is showing. Between Reeves, Austin, and LeBron. So they're orchestrating the offense really well. We're getting the rest that we talk about, each one of them getting, high level, what I call moments to get good rest. And when they come out on the court, they're ready to go. And then I'm looking at just the role, LaRavia, Smart, Rui, Jackson, Ayton, everybody feels like they've accepted their roles, and they not only have they accepted it, they look like they enjoy it. Yeah, and they like, hey, I'm gonna excel in it. The only thing that's giving me a little bit of cause for pause, I don't know if it was a secret injury, but Vando's parked on the bench, and I'm like, he fell out of the rotation when LeBron came back, so his minutes went down dramatically. Not sure what we got going on there.
It's this scoring. I think that they still feel like he's not being able to contribute enough, and I think they feel like they got these stretches where the teams that they play can literally go 5-on-4 because he's not knocking down enough shots or completing enough. But I think Vando is such a difference maker when he comes on the court. That he still can make plays, and it's like, how many offensive players do you have to have out there to have a coherent offense? You can easily have him. He's your best wing defender, and we really don't have a wing defender right now. The closest you could say is maybe LaRavia, but there's no one who can really slide their feet. This dude, Adou Thiero, looks amazing. He looks amazing. He's playing in some of the G League games, and his statistics are already off the chart, man. He's just a pogo stick. He's physical. He's got great size and length. 6'7", 6'8" type of guy, explosive player. So people are already clamoring for him to be in the part of the rotation
Yeah, it's just interesting to me because Vincent came back from injury. He got right back into the
Right
rotation,
back
and it
into
could be what we talked
JJ
about.
trust him. JJ trust him.
Yeah, it could be what we talked about, which is, sometimes when you get depth, it boils down to position, right? And when you look at with LeBron and, in a lot of these lineups, he's playing the power forward position. And then when you go with LeBron going to the bench, you slide Rui into that 4, and you can go Jackson Hayes and LaRavia, and we it almost feels like Vando. We won't see his worth until we start playing some of the elite perimeter teams, the OKCs, the Denvers. Then you're going to need a stopper to try to stop some of these elite scorers, and he's going to pay dividends. But I think at the moment right now, and I don't want to. LaRavia has been way better than I expected defensively, so I think he's taking the minutes away because he can actually defend, he can shoot, he can finish. He's playing high level basketball, and then you throw in Maxi Kleber, who's been playing really well. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and he's probably the best two-way player the Lakers have. When you look at he's not an ace offensive player and he's not an ace defensive player, but if he's a B-level defender and a B-level scorer, that's pretty good. That's a guy, and then he's smart. Dude, he's gonna be on the court a lot because you can put him in any lineup and he can contribute. And so I just think that JJ's doing a great job of mixing and matching this thing up, and setting it up. But it just feels like, man, when LeBron gets his legs under him, you literally will never ever have a break in which you're going to have playmakers. I mean, Marcus Smart and Gabe Vincent are your second and third tertiary playmakers. You know what I'm saying? And those guys are pretty good at moving the ball and executing by themselves. And they're like in the backdrop. You know what I'm saying? It's just a plethora of players, man.
Yeah, and the big piece, man. The thing about being able to play off those stars, Austin Reeves, I'm including him in that. Luka Doncic and LeBron James conversation of star play. They're getting wide open looks, man. Marcus Smart, last night I probably saw him shoot 4 threes, what I call nobody within 10 feet of him. He's
got to knock them down. They want him to knock them down, man. If he can do that, if you can do that, you basically got him and Gabe Vincent become redundancy almost, where you got defensive players who can knock down the shot, man, and that becomes even more dangerous.
Right, and that's the piece where right now I'm looking at his numbers. He's shooting around 34% from 3, which ain't bad. If you can get that up to 37, 38, even better. But I'm looking at everybody else. You got Rui shooting 48% from 3. Luka and Austin Reeves, they're at 31%. So even in the midst of this winning streak, we have shot the ball, I would say average to below average, and we're still cruising to victory, right? Yeah,
and that's the thing. They still aren't making shots from the 3. They don't have a catch and shoot guy like Mikhailiuk for Utah, who just stay out there and bomb. Sniper. You know what I'm saying? If you get,
I take that back. I'm sorry. So Marcus Smart is shooting 24% from 3, and LaRavia is shooting 34%. So
Marcus Smart has to pick it up from 3.
He's got to pick it up, right? Yeah, and then we got Gabe Vincent. Gabe is at 35.7.
Yeah, Gabe is solid. Yes, and that's why at the end of the game last night, Gabe was on the court and Marcus wasn't, because they didn't want the defense to be able to sag off. To be able to sag off on him. So. JJ's doing an excellent job of just kind of feeling the tune, finding the pulse of the team each night. Yeah. And I think what he's doing is just mixing and matching and saying, hey, man, tonight, Maxi, get on out there and play it, man. We good. Finish the game out, Maxi. You're doing fine. We don't need Hayes tonight. Finish it out. You know what I'm saying? And then tomorrow night, Hayes will start.
I think people forget how good Maxi Kleber is and how much chemistry he had with Luka when they were in Dallas, right? And that's and you talked. I'm gonna give you your flowers. You talked about it a lot this offseason when you talk about how do you get better. And the Lakers, when they put this roster together, a lot of pundits, they gave it an F. They said it was a poor job by Rob Pelinka. You and I had different opinions on it. You being the bigger proponent of explaining it really well, which I think you do. Talk to me about why the pieces fit. Why does a Maxi Kleber, why does a DeAndre Ayton, why does a Marcus Smart, not huge names, but why do they work well in this situation around Bron, Luka, and Austin?
Because they are ancillary pieces that fit. And the thing about it is the Lakers won 50 games last year, and they had some holes that they needed to fill. And once they were able to find the right type of players to fill those holes, they needed the fluidity and the versatility of a guy like Jake LaRavia, who's 23 years old, ascending. He's athletic, he's tall, he's long, and he can play two ways. So you needed to do that. And he take the place of Dorian Finney-Smith, who's a more static player. Well, I
don't think he's played this season, has he? I think Dorian Finney-Smith ended up having ankle surgery and still hadn't played this year. So
yeah, and he had an ankle issue, in Los Angeles. So he was less mobile, and he's more of a forward defender.
Right.
Instead of Lakers already have that. You have LeBron who can defend the four, Luka who can defend the four, Rui who can defend the four. You don't need any more of that, but you needed that guy like LaRavia. And then Ayton, remember we just talked about with Dallas being able to, when you have your starters come back, you let your role players fall back into their natural position. Yeah. Well, Jackson Hayes isn't a starter, okay? But he got better, so he closed the gap between a reserve and a starter. So he got better, he got bigger, he got stronger, but he doesn't have to play as much because you have a star in Ayton to eat those minutes up. And because he's so much better, now you have your presence there. And when you bring Jackson Hayes in the game, there's not as big of a drop-off. There's actually some things that Hayes does better than even Ayton does because he's such an explosive player. So So those pieces fit. And that's how you get your team better, is you fit those pieces together.
Yeah, it was interesting, man. The reality is, and you talked about it, which is, oftentimes there's only so much money within the salary cap. You are limited in who you can go out and attain. Yeah. And you can't give up on everybody. And this is one of those situations where as you build a roster in any sport, you start looking at more so the great coaches and the great organizations start looking at what can you do, right? As opposed to what you can't do. And I think with a guy like Jackson Hayes, with a guy like, Jake LaRavia, with the Marcus Smart, once you put them in their roles and you don't, what I call, overexpose them. So 15 minutes of Jackson Hayes, high energy, is probably right where he needs to be. Anything over that, you start to see more of his warts, right? Yeah, law of diminishing returns. With Marcus Smart, kind of similar situation, right? With the shooting at some nights. So we actually have a roster that has a lot of it's dynamic. You can mix and match and add with the depth that we have. We can add different players, to make up for some of the what I call whether it's lack of of having a great game in the moment. You can be a little bit more strategic there with JJ just because he has more to pull out of the war chest. But it's also interesting to see that oftentimes in basketball, man, defining a role and you kind of knowing, hey, this is what I'm supposed to do every night. And I think that has landed in LA. And I think other years prior, we got away from that, and you had guys doing a D'Angelo, Russell, one night he's got 30, the next night he's got 7. Right. You're looking at Russell Westbrook, and we had no clue what he was going to give us. In most instances, we did have a clue. It was going to be something terrible and sporadic and, something that we couldn't hang our hat on. Yeah. I think with Finney Smith actually did give us that stability. What we didn't get was the health, right?
Right. And then there were certain limitations there.
And there were certain limitations there. And with Jake LaRavia, man, you're talking about a guy that can finish. I call him a high level, 2-level scorer. He's a great 3-point shooter.
Yeah.
And he's a great finisher and around the rim. And then he gives you, what I call above average defense and effort every night. And he's right around 27 minutes. And it's gotten to the point now where, Luka and Austin are able to fall back to their natural habitat of being scorers. And then you got LeBron, who's a Swiss Army knife, who's just giving you what you need on, throughout the course of the game. So I'm hoping, like I said, the NFL season is so exciting. We haven't had a chance to just really dive into this whole NBA season.
I'm excited.
Detroit Pistons have run away on the east side, on the eastern side of the conference. The western side is a huge log jam of talent. Tonight rather. We already here over on the East Coast. Clippers, Lakers. So in-season tournament, we had a funny-looking court, and we got the Clippers who's struggling a little bit. So I think you'll see a high-energy effort, and then we got a quick turnaround Friday against the Mavericks, who are reeling a little bit too, right? And then we go to the Pelicans. So
chance to get
stack some wins and stay healthy. So I know we're close to time, man, but I think that's a good recap of our Lakers. So go ahead and take us up out of here, man.
Yeah, this is great, man. This is the H&M Sports Academy. I'm Mo. This is Harry. We've been covering the NFL, talking about the Bears, talking about the Cowboys. We've been talking about the Lakers tonight. And we're excited about everything that we have going on. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe if you like this type of content. We will continue to grow, continue to add to our channel. And we're really looking for some great things. For all of you out there on the holidays, be safe and take care of yourselves and enjoy your time with your family. I will be eating and sitting on the couch.
You staying local? You staying local?
I'm staying local. I will be chilling and eating and sitting on the couch and not doing a damn thing but watching these games.
I hear that.
And riding the tidal wave as our teams fight to try to get into the next stage, into the tournament. So that's all I got. Harry, if you got nothing else, we'll wrap this thing up. Call it a night.
Yeah, man. No, we wrap it up. Like I said, we're up to 45, I think, subscribers, man. We're growing. Super excited to be able to get this content out to everybody. Like you said, everybody be safe this holiday season, and Thursday, Friday, big days, big games for us this weekend, and we'll be back. We'll be back to talk about those results here. Maybe I'm thinking Sunday, maybe Sunday, Monday. So
you guys have a good weekend. For Harry, this is Mo. Have a great night.